Okay, small talk show. Small talk show. 111. Bethany Fox. Yow! Sticks. Oh, hi, Bethany.
Hi.
Welcome to Small Talk Show.
I'm so grateful to be here.
The only show where we do as much small talk as we humanly can stand.
Perfect.
What are you excited about?
Right this minute?
Yeah, I'm working on my small talk. The whole premise of the show is to do better small talk.
Okay.
And I've gone through with other guests, I've done like, how's parking? Or like, wow, the weather, huh?
Yeah.
And now I'm like really getting into the best, like this is a real attempt at real small talk.
Yeah, I like it. I am excited about, I genuinely am excited about building local community, like trying to meet your neighbors in a way that feels meaningful. I feel like we don't know our neighbors often, right?
Are we just going to like get right up out of these chairs and go meet my neighbors?
Let's go meet your neighbors. Let's take this on the road.
It'd be a hell of a segment, I'll tell you that. Wow.
I just feel like we're isolated, I feel isolated in LA sometimes.
It is an isolating city.
And so to actually meet your neighbors and figure out how to do that. Like our Buy Nothing group has coffee meetups.
Nice.
Every month.
Do you buy your coffees?
Well, the host, I think, does buy the coffee.
Boom, gotcha.
Oh my gosh.
Roasted like a coffee bean. What's the most beautiful place you've ever been to?
The most beautiful. Superlative questions are difficult for me.
They're the worst.
The worst.
Or the best. Which is how a superlative.
So clever.
Thanks. 20 years of doing my best to be funny, and I got one.
Let's see. Can I just do a beautiful place I went this summer?
That sounds great, yeah.
Great. We went to the Badlands, which is a national park in South Dakota.
Okay.
Which I don't know that the rest of South Dakota is where you want to spend your time.
So it might just kind of all be Badlands?
But the actual national park, there are parts of it that it looks like someone took a watercolor brush in this kind of Grand Canyon-esque, but a tan color. And then they took a purple and just went across.
That sounds
and it doesn't even feel like it belongs there.
Like a lavender?
Yeah, and then a yellow too.
Wow.
And it looks like somebody just graffitied it, but in a beautiful way. But I think it's actually natural.
What makes a good friend?
So I sometimes joke that I'm a little bit of a presence fascist. In the sense of I have very high expectations for if you're with me, I'm your focus.
Whoa.
Especially for a one-on-one conversation. I think that because I give that pretty well. And so I think when I have a friend, I want to feel like they care about what I'm saying and they're listening to me and they're with me. Because I think it's tough if I'm talking to someone, you know how they're staring and they kind of glaze over?
Yep.
And they just keep looking and you're like, I don't really
sorry,
think.
I gotta look at my phone right now. Yeah.
Yeah, but that kind of thing where it's they're not really with you.
Yeah.
And even if I'm not sharing something incredibly profound, just to feel we're together and you're actually present. So I think that ability to be present is step one.
So being heard or being listened to is top of the list of a good friend.
Yeah. So presence. I need to have some humor. I think that's a recent realization.
Oh, you just recently want someone to be funny?
No, I've always wanted it, but I think I didn't realize how much I miss it if I'm in a friendship where the person...
It's just like a robot, basically.
They don't even have to be funny, but when I'm funny, they have to be here for it. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
You do.
I think humor is a good sign of intelligence.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm if someone listens to me and they're smart, they're going to think I'm funny.
Yeah.
You hear that, viewers?
If you don't think he's funny, you're stupid.
That's right. Do you think you are a good friend?
I think I am. I think that I think I'm a really good friend. As an only child, I feel I had to make friends family, and just because I didn't have siblings, so it's I had to create siblings out of everyone that I knew, which meant that I was very committed to people.
So you were looking for a big closeness.
Right. Yes. And so I think that that's what I would always do over and over again, and so people would feel a sense of oh, this person is committed to me. They show up to my things. They're at the funeral. They do the things that are you know, they'll help me move, they'll drive me to the airport. Like, I was very much like in there with people. So I've only recently realized that I need to only do that with people that I genuinely like.
Whoa.
So I think I just was doing that more. I was ready to be a good friend to whoever needed a good friend.
Yeah.
And then that just leads to burnout and
that's tough.
Exhaustion.
There's so many people on this planet,
too many to be friends with, all of them.
It would be very, very difficult to be friends with approximately 7.9 billion people.
Right.
Have you ever had a friendship breakup?
Yeah, I've had several recently.
Don't they suck?
They're horrible.
They're probably the worst.
Do you think it's easier to be the breaker-upper or the one broken up with?
I think neither is easy.
Yeah, they're both bad.
I think it's really hard, and I don't think there's like a playbook for a friendship breakup either.
Yeah.
There's no songs about it. There's no like, you know, like if there's a country song about it, it exists basically in the zeitgeist.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had several. They're horrible.
Sad trombone.
But I think part of the issue is I was like rolling with friendships I didn't realize what weren't quite working for me.
You were driving 7.9 billion people to the airport.
Right, but then when you get to the point where you're like, oh wait, this is actually like not working for me, it's awful because you've like been there for them, they've come to rely on you, they feel like you're their really good friend, and then you're just like, I don't know what to do here. Like, I basically just need to tell you, we're not going to be friends anymore.
That's hard.
It's really hard.
It's really hard to. I had a lady I dated for a short amount of time, and she would say like relationships are like orbits, you know, and sometimes you orbit close and sometimes you orbit out, right? And I was like, this is a great metaphor. I like this metaphor.
I was in therapy during one of these friendship breakups, and her advice was like, because I was kind of like, we need to have an intentional conversation, and she's like, or it can just be like what most people do, which is that you're kind of hanging out for a while. Maybe you don't return a call. Maybe they get the message. And then you kind of, maybe you run into them in 5 months and you can have a chat. It doesn't have to be so like, you know, orchestrated.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that friend did not allow me. I was trying for the slow fade. That didn't used to be my way, but I was trying for the slow fade. It was unsuccessful.
Slow fade's hard.
She needed me to say, no, we're not going to be friends anymore.
It was a bummer.
And it was a bummer for everyone.
Have you ever had a crush on your friend?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah.
In college, I would say especially.
Isn't it so embarrassing when you realize like, oh no, I gotta like do something about this or just stuff it?
Yeah, the friend I had, well, I had a crush on basically every boy that I met in college.
Wow.
So,
that's 3.8 billion.
They all went to UCLA.
Everyone. Okay.
But yeah, and so I would say the one that I actually brought it up with later, he came out as gay, and so
yeah,
I feel like that was my doing.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
You've made someone gay?
No, I didn't. No.
I don't think I'd ever have that much power. It was sort of like
who would you choose
to make gay?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Some political figure.
I would somehow make RuPaul gayer.
Okay, that's good.
Because I think RuPaul's a national treasure.
I was reading his autobiography recently. Did you read it?
No, I have not yet read it.
I love RuPaul, and so I was really intrigued by him and heard him on a podcast. Well, the book just kind of became like, I am destined to be famous.
Okay.
And then I was like, okay, this isn't totally my vibe anymore.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
But yeah, I love him.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
I just watched Drag Race.
Which one?
Which one did I just
watch?
Like
All Stars 4 or something?
The one with Eureka, where Eureka did not injure her leg.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know which one that is.
Maybe 10?
But the sad thing about it is I don't remember anyone's names.
Okay.
But I'm like, oh, the season with the girl from Orlando, or like the season with the really flashy one who would always wear blue. You know,
yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah, great.
Yeah, that's because my brain's just a plate full of spaghetti sometimes. Childhood, pastorin, or stand-up comedy?
Let's do childhood since we already ventured there.
Yes, fever to your childhood.
200.
A quick question for you.
Please.
Were you ever a child?
That is true. I was a child. at one point.
Yes, go on.
It was earlier in my life that I was a child.
Oh, very good, very good.
Yes, and it was a short time,
yeah.
a shorter time than I've been an adult.
Really?
Yes, actually.
Now that's an interesting thought. What were you like as a kid?
What was I like as a child? I was very performative. Part of that, when I was a little child, my dad is an interesting person, and I had a routine that I would do as like a very little child, like a 2-year-old.
Like wake up, brush your teeth?
No, like a performance routine at restaurants.
Okay.
Like I would get carried around by the waitress to tables, and they would say, "What's your favorite drink?" And I would say, "Beer." And it was really funny because it was a 2-year-old. And then they would say, "What's your favorite drug?" And I'd say, "Cocaine." And then they would say, "Can you hyperventilate?" And then I would like hyperventilate like a dog. And then I think they would ask what was my favorite sports team. And I would say, "Go Chargers," because we were in San Diego.
You're San Diego. Oh,
So,
man.
did a lot of performing.
Wow. That is heavy, Doc.
Is it?
It's a bit heavy, yeah. Just jumping on it if you're okay. Like
Do it.
Sort of like being trained to perform, like at a young age.
Yeah.
It's like hard to untrain.
Yeah. And you like to see the people, they respond and they laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I get how approval works. Carl Jung would say that everything you are is a certain type of performance, though. There is no one true persona. They're all just kind of like floating around and, in like a matrix of you.
Or like how RuPaul would say it. Mm-hmm. You're born naked.
And sashay away.
And everything else is
drag. Yeah. Oh my God. I can't believe I missed that. What did you want to be when you grew up?
A veterinarian.
A veterinarian?
It's really cliched, which I don't really like. I like to be a unique person. So the fact that when I was much littler, I wanted to be an ice cream truck driver.
I wanted to be an ice cream taster.
Okay, well, we could have teamed up.
Yeah, I hear it's a job where you can professionally taste ice cream, and I'm like, yeah.
That seems like a great job.
Right?
I would supply you from my truck.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm into it. Let's do it.
I mean,
let's get out of here.
Why don't we do it now?
What am I doing now?
Meet your neighbors, have an ice cream.
Meet neighbors, have ice cream.
Great. Hyperventilate. Sashay away.
I will sashay away. As a kid, did you have any special interests?
Well, again, this is not unique to me, but I will say that the way I played Barbies was unique to me.
How did you play Barbies?
Well, it was almost as if I was casting and running a Barbie telenovela. That was really how it went. They had a lot of sex. Mm-hmm. They would...
I'm sorry, as a child you would do this?
Yeah, well, let's say I played Barbies up till 11.
Okay.
You know about sex at
9, 10? You know something's happening.
I don't know. I mean, the sex involved putting them on top of each other, and then putting them to the side.
And then not looking.
And they were doing that, and then they were just doing, we went on with other plot points.
Of course, yeah.
And
because
then...
you can't even show that on a telenovela.
Right, exactly.
Meanwhile...
On top, to the side.
Yeah.
And then this lady would come and give a really dramatic statement about her alcoholic father.
Wow.
And I would literally cry as I was giving the Barbies telling about her horrible experiences.
These Barbie monologues.
Very emotional.
Have you ever thought about writing down your telenovelas with your Barbies into some sort of play, like the Barbie monologues or something?
That's an amazing idea.
I think I would love to see that.
I will for sure do that. A lot of tears will be shed.
Stand up. Do you like doing stand-up comedy?
Yes.
Wow. Can you tell me a knock-knock joke?
Yes.
Good. Have you ever done stand-up outside of LA?
No. No.
How's your crowd work?
I have an idea for some new crowd work.
Oh, go on, do tell.
But because I've never really done much crowd work.
Oh, it's easy. You just pick out somebody in the crowd and you go, hello, where are you from? Oh, Burbank? Oh.
I've only performed in Burbank.
Yeah, Flappers, right?
Yeah.
Everyone I know goes through Flappers.
Yeah.
The place chews up comedians, spits them out.
I was chewed there.
Yeah, it's true.
So do you want to hear my new idea?
I'd love to hear it.
It's a little bit stolen, but also a little bit my own.
That's comedy.
That's comedy.
Yeah.
So
if you're not stealing comedy a little bit, are you even trying?
yeah, that's fair. Exactly. That should be a bumper sticker.
Sashay away.
I love how RuPaul is here with us. Yeah, so do you want to know my idea?
Yeah.
Okay. So it involves, so I'm not really that into like tarot card readings for real.
Ooh.
Like I've never really been to them or anything.
Okay.
Like I'm not like against them necessarily.
Sure.
I just like, I'm not experienced in them. But I like the idea of doing like tarot card like readings. So you don't have to call it tarot card because you're not using tarot cards, but using decks from regular board games.
I love it.
Like Monopoly. Like it could be like Marvin Gardens, the Marvin Gardens card. You know what that means.
Yes, of course.
You're gonna face a misty-hearted gentleman in your day.
I predict that you.
His name is Marvin.
I predict that you will get out of jail for free.
Yes, exactly. And another one is Clue. I think about doing the Clue ones.
That's a good one.
To be like the Colonel Mustard card. Spicy. You're gonna have a spicy encounter today.
A stone ground encounter.
Yeah.
I love your idea. I would do it almost exactly the opposite.
Let's hear it.
I would pull tarot cards and put them down and be like, yes, the cards are telling me that you're going to be ordering a 6-inch teriyaki sub from Subway tomorrow morning at 11:15.
Okay, great. So it's
just
a good way to go.
The most absurd,
yeah,
incredibly accurate predictions. I think people would be aghast.
They're like, and he's right.
Yeah.
Here I am.
Here I am. The sweet onion chicken teriyaki sub from Subway.
Eat fresh.
Sponsor us, Subway. When you're doing stand-up, what kind of room do you like to do stand-up for? A room full of other comedians that are all just kind of scowling?
Yeah, I think it's everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
Everyone likes scowlers.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was actually so I haven't performed that much, meaning I've performed 3 times.
Nice. I hear the third time's the charm. That's what they tell me.
It was a little bit of a tough crowd. There were some real scowlers. Like I was like, do you think that we're here to have a cancer dialogue? Because you're actually at a comedy show. Maybe you didn't know.
Pardon me, sir. Are you aware that you're at a comedy show?
Like there were 3 people who were in the class, because it was like a class performance show.
Okay.
And there were 3 people who had started in the class, and then they dropped out after a couple of weeks. But then they came to the show.
Just to scowl.
Well, one guy was not scowling. He was great. He was this lovely, lovely guy.
Winner.
But the other ones were just scowling, and I'm like, why did you come here? Just
Why?
to be like, you guys are horrible.
Why would you scowl through someone's attempt to come
It's
on.
tough.
Why you got to be a jerk?
Especially when they know we're kind of new. We're not. You scowl at Jerry Seinfeld or some jackass like that.
Yeah, go to Jay Leno and scowl at him. He's done this a million times.
Exactly.
You're
Scowl at
not
us
going to be
new
able to
people.
scowl all his money and cars away.
That's right.
Yeah. All right, last category, pastor.
Okay.
Oh, wow, very serious.
I pick it, I guess.
Wait, are you a pastor? That's the first question. There it is.
Yes.
What does a pastor do?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
This one was a gimme, I thought.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I thought it was something like we go read the Bible or something like that.
Well, it's really involved. It's a lot of, and I think part of the problem is people have a lot of expectations about what a pastor does. And a lot of times what they do is they receive people's projected psychological needs that were not met by their mother or father. And they receive those expectations and disappoint people and deal with that fallout. So that's part of what pastors do, even though it's not in the job description.
That's going to be big old zoinks from me. Big zoinks. Capital Z zoinks.
Okay.
Have you ever gotten caught outside of church in an awkward situation and people are like, it's you, the pastor?
Like from people in the church?
Yeah.
No, that hasn't happened.
Never?
I don't think so.
Because I always had this thought about, because you were a kid.
Yeah.
And you saw your
teacher.
Your teacher, right?
Totally.
Out in the grocery store or
Right.
something. You're like, there's Miss King.
Right,
What's she
yeah.
doing out in the real world?
Yeah. Yeah, that's never happened to me. I wish I had. I could make up a story.
You don't have to lie.
Okay.
It's,
Because I'm a pastor?
yeah, because you're a pastor. You
Okay,
don't
I
have to
probably
lie.
shouldn't. Fair.
I mean, I don't want to should you?
They'll defrock me.
I don't know how it works. You would be able to tell me. Whether they'd be like, you exaggerated about that story.
They won't
Watch
fuck me
yourself.
for it. I don't even know who they would be.
Who would it be? Wouldn't it be strange if just like 5 people showed up on your doorstep? We're the Commission of Pastor Commission. I got a deep, dark, difficult question for you to wind us down here.
Love
Easy
it.
one.
I'm into it.
What do you say to people who have been hurt by religion?
Oh, yeah. I say that that's awful. And that, I mean, I think mostly I listen first, honestly, because they've probably heard enough talking by religious people. So I think that I hear their story.
Yeah. Don't want to give them just sort of a whoops.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Before we get out of here,
Yeah.
do you have anything you want to plug? Are you in a show? Do you have a podcast? Do you want people to come to your services? Where can people
my church?
do it? Plug
I'm
it.
not really gonna do that.
Okay. Do you have social media? Can people find you on the internet?
Follow me on TikTok at McBethany77. Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. Thank you for coming on the show.
It was great to meet you.
Bye. Bye, everybody.